All right, we are recording. Matt, whenever you're ready, please take over.
Okay, sounds good. We'll get started and see if anybody trickles in here. Welcome in, folks. I am Matt Brooks from Campus Technology Services, specifically our server and identity management team. And in this breakout presentation, I'm going to talk a little bit about multi-factor authentication, something that we definitely use for security purposes, but sometimes can be the bane of our existence, unfortunately. um, my help desk colleagues are targeting a broader presentation on this as well during this breakout period. I'm going to focus in more specifically on the topic of multiple authentication methods, which is something that some folks may not be aware is actually a thing that you can do. Others might already have this set, so if you do, fantastic. If not, hopefully this will be a benefit to you. Just a little bit of background, just in case. Um, how are we using MFA at Oswego? We've had this in place now for a couple of years across multiple platforms. Um, the most familiar place is going to be across a variety of our services, such as My Oswego and Brightspace and other services, where you get the Microsoft-based login that you see on the left-hand side of the slide here. And then, of course, with our email through Google services, we also have what they call two-step verification, but we just collectively recall or also call MFA as well, because it's the same idea. And that you'll see has um, the picture I have on the right-hand side of the slide there. So again, we use this for protecting our accounts. This is a campus-wide initiative that we've had in place now for at least a couple years. We need to have this in place for cybersecurity, protection of our data, accounts, and all these other reasons. It is something that we are enforcing. So we definitely do the best we can to help people get set up with it. We have ways we can do things to make exceptions temporarily to help you get set up with things. And then we're doing sessions like this. Um, our CTS website, oswego.edu/CTS/MFA, has a great section on how to configure MFA for both Microsoft and Google pieces. There are videos and various knowledge-based articles that are linked there to help you guide you through this process. Um, and what we're going to focus on again is the use of different authentication methods. Um, we've been talking a lot for the past couple of years about the use of what we call authenticator apps for setting up MFA. And I do want to reiterate that that's still our primary focus because authenticators can be used anywhere. If you have a mobile device, a phone, or whatever, they can be used if you have no Wi-Fi and no cellular connection, hypothetically. You can be in the middle of the desert and still have the authenticator work, which is kind of funny because you wouldn't be able to access services anyway, but still the principle of it. Now, that being said, you can always grab Microsoft or Google authenticators from either the Google Play Store or the App Store for iOS devices. They're free, simple to use and set up. Again, once you have it installed and connected, you don't actually have to have any kind of internet for it to work. So this is still our primary recommendations to have an authenticator. But sometimes you don't always have access to that, and that's why I want to talk about some other options in this presentation. Just kind of help you have multiple cases. Now, if you're not familiar with it, the Microsoft Authenticator, there is a way to start that process. There is a website link here. I will note that after the presentation, if you want to follow up with me directly via email, I can give you a copy of this so you have it, so that my tips and tricks here will work for you if you want to reference them later on. So you can go ahead and start this process through this website. Um, Once you have the Authenticator app downloaded on your phone or your device, the website will actually give you a special QR code that's unique to your case that you can scan through the app, and that's going to connect it to your Oswego account specifically. You can get codes from this app so that when you're prompted for authentication, you can get right in with that stuff. And again, there is a knowledge base article associated to that reference below. However, it's not the only thing you can do with Microsoft MFA. There are alternate methods. And we do want to recommend that you try to set up at least one other method other than just an authenticator app. So using that same website, again, this is just an abbreviated address that Microsoft uses, aka.ms/MFA setup. Log in with your Oswego email credentials. If you have MFA setup, which you should already, you will get a prompt, but then you'll get in there and you can actually go to the security info section on that page. And this is actually an example from my own account. You will see I've got multiple methods that includes alternate phone numbers and office phone. Um, so both my personal phone and my work cell phone and my actual desk phone are all included here as options. Plus my personal phone and my work phone have the Authenticator app as well. And email is also listed here too. So you can see I've got myself covered for multiple bases here in terms of how to do this. I do recommend at the very least, if you can, put in like a phone number so you can get either a text message or a push phone call from them to give you a code. At least you got a backup method that way. The Google Authenticator works in a similar way. There's a process to go through setting this up. Our knowledge base article here discusses how to do that. I will say that on my work cell phone, I do have both the Microsoft Authenticator and the Google Authenticator. They don't conflict with each other, they both work. But I have noted that the Google two-factor authentication, 2SV, does actually work with the Microsoft Authenticator as well. So you could have just one Authenticator app for everything if you want to. It's just how things run in the background and how they configure. It makes it work. That being said, Google does offer additional methods as well with one-time passwords, as it's called. What you can do is log into myaccount.google.com, log in with your Oswego email and password, of course. You should get the MFA 2SV prompting. Then once you're in there, go to security on the left-hand side. There will be a two-step verification, again, Google's terminology, option on that page. When you click in there, you'll see a section that says second steps. And that's where you can add multiple methods for Google two-step verification. So you'll see, again, this is from my own account. I do have multiple devices, so that these are both my work and my personal phone. I have Authenticator app, and I have a phone number listed. So in this case, I've got three backup methods. I shouldn't say backup mode, three authentication methods that will get me in. We do see backup codes listed here too. This is a Google unique thing. You don't have that with Microsoft. We don't really recommend the backup codes thing. That's really an emergency option that we use from our side to try to get you in if we need to. So I really do recommend getting a phone set up, the Authenticator app, phone number, whatever works for you. You can have multiple options. That's what we want to recommend. Now, that being said, we're talking about texting or phone calls here for the most part using your phone. There's another option you may not even thought of before, which is also available to you. And that is something called browser extensions. If you've never heard of a browser extension, this is basically a small add-on feature that runs completely within your browser of choice, and this can give you additional features. So Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, which is very Chrome-like now, Mozilla Firefox, all of these browsers all give you the ability to use plugins or extensions within them, including an authenticator extension that you can connect. And this will work for both Microsoft MFA and Google MFA. There's a KB article again that we have that talks about how to set these up. I do recommend taking a look at that. If you have, in particular, a laptop, like if you're an instructor going around classes and all that stuff, different classrooms, sometimes MFA can be a bit of a pain. You could always have a computer that has a browser extension set up. Just click right into that little extension in the top of your browser. That will give you the same code you might get from the Authenticator app as well, and you can get in. It's pretty straightforward one to set up. It's just another backup methodology that we can recommend that you use. And if you don't have your phone for a day, this gives you another way out. So we don't have to necessarily make an exception for you um, to get in if you need it. So again, best practice from our end, we've been talking about authenticators for a couple of years now, stressing to people get an authenticator app on your mobile device. It'll work no matter where you are, and that's true. We do again want to try to tell folks, try to set up another option, at least one other option. If you want to use your phone for a phone call or a text push, an SMS push, you can definitely do that. Go through the process that I have outlined in this presentation. And again, you can also use a browser extension. Each one of these can be independently set up. You can have one in Chrome, you can have one in Edge, you can have one in Firefox, and they can do different things depending on what you want. The benefits, of course, redundancy, multiple methods ensure you've always got a way, whether you're at home or on campus, and if a device fails, you've got a way to get into your account, authenticate into your services, do what you got to do. Especially if it's on an off weekend, the help desk isn't open, you can't reach out to anybody, it still gives you a way in, right? If your phone somehow gets damaged, it drops in water, whatever happens, right? You still have other ways to get in while you replace that device. And of course, the flexibility, multiple methods to get in safely while still adhering to our campus security best practices. And again, of course, always feel free to reach out through our help desk for assistance on any of this stuff if you have any kind of questions regarding MFA setup. And our knowledge base, again, does have a lot of these articles in there talking about how to set up all these things. And of course, feel free to reach out through email, give a phone call, or you can do a ticket through our self-service as well. But for now, that is it for my presentation. Just a quickie, just on some best practices and what we recommend that you do. If you want a copy of this again, feel free to reach out to me. My email address is matt.brooks@oswego.edu, and I'll be glad to forward that along to you. But for now, that's it. Thank you for attending.
So Matt, I just thought I should ask you a quick question.
Yes.
CTS has helped us, has always been very kind in putting me on an exception list when I've forgotten my phone. Now, of course, now I just learned a few other ways I could have handled the situation. Do students have the same ability if they have a broken phone or they forget their phone? Does that work for them too, or is it just me because I'm me?
No, absolutely. Students can do this as well. It's probably something that honestly very few of them are even familiar with. Most of them are probably just doing the authenticator method. So the more that this can get out there, even to students, the better. And I can tell you, just in the last week, we've been working and processing through like alumni accounts and people that renewed their account and are having, two-step verification, MFA issues with that. We're having to deal with exceptions and all that stuff too, because nobody got that set up previously. They were checking mail through other applications, and now it's coming back to be a problem. So yeah, I mean, it'll work for anybody as long as you actually understand that there are ways to do it. Just going to the website, checking out the KB. We try to offer as many of these options as we can to tell people where we can do so.
Now, this presentation, because there were some URLs and stuff that I wouldn't mind having access to, is this something that you could send us or put something in chat or?
Yep, I certainly can have people, anybody that's here at least, I'll be glad to send it along. Via email is obviously the easy way I can do it because I can just download a copy of it and send it directly to you. So there's my email address for folks in chat. But if anybody ever reaches out, yeah, I'm certainly glad to share it. I don't think that we post these things on the CTS website. It's usually more for the context of these breakout sessions where we do this specifically.
All right, well, that's great. Thank you, Matt.
No problem. Any other questions for anybody that's in the group here?
Yeah, I have a question. When it comes to the Google multi-factor authentication, I've noticed sometimes when you put in like multiple sources, sometimes there's a hierarchy of which one they try first. Is there like some kind of order or some way to change the order in which the different options show up?
From what I have seen in the my own account window, I don't believe that there's a way to order those. And I think that's a limitation on Google's site itself, unfortunately. It just provides the multiple options, but I don't see a way to do a hierarchy.
When it comes to the web browser extension authenticators, do they get affected by like when you clear cache or cookies, or when you have to do some kind of system update with the computers on campus or anything like that? Because
So
I've
if
had
you
students had to do that a lot sometimes for the different
so
programs we
if
have
you
to
yeah
get them into.
if you do cache clearing and things like that, I don't believe that the browser extension will be cleared from that piece of it because that's a separate sub application within the browser. It's not cleaning the cookies and all those pages you visited, for example, like that cache cleaning would actually do. That being said, if your computer gets refreshed or OS reinstalled, the browser itself has to get reinstalled because of some kind of corruption issue, then yes, the extension likely will get damaged, corrupted, or just removed for whatever reason, and that will have to be reconfigured at that point.
All right.
I would say that the browser extension is probably the least known of any of these kind of things. Um, but it is definitely another method that we recommend people give a try just to see if it helps you. And it all depends on your own workflow and how you do things, whether it even worked for you the best.
And do we need like permission from CTS or other kind of authority to get these things, get the browser extensions put on our like office computers or
You
anything like
should
that?
not. Browser extensions work on a case by case basis in terms of the user account that's logged into the computer. So it's on a user session and not a computer level session. So even if you didn't have administrative rights to install anything on on your computer, for example, um, you should still be able to go into the browser and add an extension, and it should still work without a problem because it's doing it within the session of your own browser and not installing a full program on the computer. So there's an important distinction.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, well, thank you, Matt.
All right, thanks everyone. Hope you enjoyed that and found it useful. And again, feel free to spread the word about it as well. It's always a challenge for us from CTS to try to get these things out to people and have more folks try to adopt these methods. So any little bit helps.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.